Morning.
We're almost exactly 10 o'clock today.
That's right. We almost made it. Almost.
And this is kind of like horseshoes for us.
That's right.
Hello, everybody. And first question right off the bat. Who listened to the podcast this morning? Because we've got the picture ready to go. Yes, had Woo Woo Wednesday. Aha. So Melanie has already listened.
Oh, good. So at least it is playing, so that's good.
Yeah, we were checking on the numbers this morning and it said it went out there, but it wasn't telling me how many listens we already had. But it was also saying 0 across the board, even old ones. And we know that's not right. So our hosting platform seems to be having a little bit of a issue this morning. Hello, everybody. It is Woo Woo Wednesday, right? We've got to design a shirt, Brooke. We do.
It says Woo Woo.
The Woo Woo Club or something of that sort. Where's Debbie? Debbie, are you here? Let's see. Right, Memorial Day weekend coming up. Everybody be safe.
Please, yes.
I think we have a pretty good club.
Yeah. And it's cool because all these people that are here pretty much know from week to week what's going on. So that's really good. And it's good when somebody else gets in.
Right. No shenanigans yet. Give me a minute. I'm sure I can find some.
You'll figure some way to make fun of me. Just hold on.
Oh, yep. See, so we have listeners. Thank you, everybody. It's not even Mercury retrograde and we're having problems there, but and started looking for the photo. I'm going to put that up here in a second. We have 2 photos today. One is for the podcast. One is one of our online friends have sent in that I actually had it loaded up last week. And then we just got
busy.
And after I hit end live, I was like, oh shit, it's right there.
Yeah. Let's show the picture sort of now and then toward the end for people that are late getting on.
Which one? The motorcycle or okay. Watch out for motorcycles. Yes. Be very safety conscious for them, please. Let's see. I think we have gotten through. Oh, you met a friend in a grocery store?
Yes. She's the gal that I told you is the first one since we moved here in January that actually recognized me somewhere. And I was so surprised. So yes. Yeah, it was very nice talking to her.
So here is the picture that this episode was based on.
Now, the dark-haired man is the man that bought the motorcycle. It was jiggy like that because the motorcycle was going slowly by as his wife took the picture. And that picture was taken with a disposable film camera. So that's definitely why it looks like that. But the ghost, when I was talking to him, absolutely has blonde hair. And there's no doubt that that's not that man's right in front of his face.
Hello, Aki. Yeah, I mean, this is one of the best pictures I've seen where you can clearly see it and you're not like trying to use your imagination to find it.
This was funny because this was my agent at Quantico he's retired now, but this was one of the very first pictures. There was 3 of them that really, it was so funny because the first time he admitted that it could be something, he asked me for a quinseed.
Oh.
And I had offered it to him and he went, no, don't, come on. And he made a joke. He says, I carry a gun. I'm thinking, yeah, but they're dead.
What's that gonna do?
So, but when he saw this one, and there's 2 others that he saw that he said, all right, you got me. He says, I don't know, because I have the negative for this. So yeah, it's crazy.
It's funny. I know a couple people that are retired out of like special forces and who in their retirement, because they don't know how to be retired, um, went in on the private sector, and they very much have that mentality of, um, they're trained in all sorts of tactical stuff and weaponry, and then when they run across something like this, then they're suddenly a believer, and they're like, yeah, my gun, my martial arts training, like
Right.
takedowns, chokeholds, not gonna work.
Right. And here's the thing. It has changed so much in the last 40 years. I mean, anybody that did anything that, we're all interested in, we're nuts and weirdos and on drugs or smoking pot or who knows what we were doing. But it's funny the way it has come around. That's right, Renee. That's right. This wasn't your ghost, but that's right. Forgot about that. I told you, we were behind a motorcycle not that long ago, and the license plate said DNA. And it's like, what are you predicting it? Are you asking for it? What's wrong with you? Why would you even put that energy out there?
Yeah, I always give wide clearance when I see motorcycles on the road. Just because of family members, and I now have a 20-year-old son who's thinking that he might want to get one, and I'm like, oh good God, I can't pull the mom card anymore. Like, you're 20. But okay.
Yeah, that's time for the bubble to come out. He goes in a bubble. No motorcycle. Nope, nope, nope,
Right.
nope, nope.
And you realize we live in Ohio, so you're going to get to ride it all of maybe 3 weeks a year, right?
That's right. No.
There will be more snow days than riding days for you, young man. Snow and rain. But
luckily, our girls were never there, or if it was their thing, we never knew about it. And none of the people that they ever went out with or dated, I don't even know if our girls have ever been on a motorcycle.
Brooke's still pulling them off.
That's right. That's exactly right. Especially if they're living at home, you betcha.
Right. Like, I don't want to hear that loudness pulling up first thing in the morning.
Yeah, right.
That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. I should, but
good idea, Renee.
As much as he has my personality, there's still a smidge in there of his dad. And like, one of the summers he came back from visiting his dad, out of state, rule is you get in the car, seatbelt, right? Especially if you're up front. And he wasn't like putting it on. And I'm like, seatbelt, young man. And he kind of smirked. He goes, I die like a man. And I'm like,
whoa,
get that father out of you right now and put the fucking seatbelt on.
That's right.
Oh, and he's like, no, we die like men here. And I'm like, you're walking or get back in the house.
Yeah. And you're not in Texas. Come on.
Right.
Saying that, you need to have a gun on your hip too. So
right. Yeah. Have them look up insurance rates too.
Right. Yeah. That's another thing. No.
We were just thinking about you. I'm like, we haven't seen you.
Yeah, we just wondered. We hadn't seen you for a while. I'm glad you're back.
Yeah. And I know Firestone counting down them last days with them kiddies, man. All of our teachers, good luck to you. Brooke's like, my mom's card is always
the last week. This is the last week for school most places, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, see, yeah, he's got 3 days left. And I think his wife too, right? Same school. So
yeah,
they get to run out of there together. I die like a man. I wear a seatbelt even without thinking, right?
But when Brune started driving, he was a little nervous.
He was.
And he'd have to go to school. I mean, he just can't get a motorcycle license anyway. You have to take the course. You have to get the instructions. Mm-hmm. He has to pass. So maybe that would put a crimp in it for him.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. I forgot middle school.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Oh, Divine has our first question today. Do cat ghosts not?
Yes, they do. And my dog, the Bashan, still knocks pillows off the couch. Absolutely.
Welcome back, Heather. Good you could come back. And you know what? Before I forget, let's put up this other picture because I don't want to forget again. So our friend who submitted this was wondering, what that light is, and other than beautiful, and I love that.
No, that's just the bright white light. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that at all. That's just the pathway to which way they're going. So that's a good thing.
Yes.
Very nice picture. Very, very nice.
Yes, I would definitely. That was from Andrea. Definitely. Oh, I would frame that because that is just a gorgeous picture there, especially for our servicemen and women.
Yes.
But for our new friends coming back in, we'll put up the motorcycle real quick and then we'll do it again at the end. But today's episode has to do with this picture that has a really good picture of a ghost sitting in front, the previous owner of said motorcycle. So if you haven't had a chance and you like podcasts, go look up When Ghosts Speak. It's available pretty much everywhere. I've been even finding new directories to shove it into. So yeah, that one's called The Ghostly Writer, and it's the newest one out. And there's 49 other episodes you can go back and listen to. They're what, about 22 to maybe 32 minutes long, so they're not overly long.
Well, so we almost got a year of them.
Yeah. Is there? Oh, I didn't realize that. There's a Rush song called Ghostwriter. I know when we were coming up with the title, we were a little worried about using Ghost Writer because of, what is it,
Movie.
You see? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So we went with Ghostly.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the meantime, guys, if you have any questions about either the podcast or how Earthbound Spirits Ghosts work, fairies, portals, Marianne can speak a little bit on some alien stuff. We were actually talking about something at the prison that I'm like, we should talk about that Wednesday. And now I can't remember what that was, other than maybe since you got to be there all day. What's your take on Mansfield?
This is not the first time I've been there. And so, like I've said before, first of all, they only used to let people stay overnight or do ghost tours like September, October, and November because of Halloween. Apparently that's changed now. They do tours there all the time now. And with the new prison, which is a joke because it's not even new anymore, but the new one that they built to replace this one, what would you say, Melissa? 1,000 feet behind, 1,500 at the most?
Yeah, every time I look, I'm like, it's close.
Right there. You can see the guards walking around if you look out the windows. I mean, and I thought it was odd that nobody was allowed to point their camera in that way direction and take a picture. Wasn't that odd?
No, because at first, because I saw the windows upstairs all have these signs.
Right.
But if you think about it, if I had family member or loved one in that prison, I'm taking pictures of the outside. I'm going to show you where all of the weak spots are, where security's standing. So if somebody was trying to get out of that prison, here's info on weak spots. But
well, I just saw that barbed wire. I don't think they'd be going too far too fast. So
I mean, there's a lot of fencing you're going to have to get over.
Yeah. So anyway, when the place, they don't have any customers coming through, all the little ghosts go right back over to the new prison. But as soon as they see cars pulling in and people coming in, then they run over, and that's when they start, following the tour. But WVIZ TV, what is that? The educational station. I think that's what WVIZ is.
Let's ask Google.
Yeah, it's something, but it's whatever. And they wanted to do a piece for the station, of course, in October. And so we went all the way up to the top floor. And in the day when that place was, over the years when that place was first built, they used that top floor as a TB asylum. And so there were actually ghosts from then that were there. And the other thing that they were doing there were performing some illegal lobotomies. They were doing it through the eyeballs. I don't even want to think about that. And yeah, just a needle works real well, I guess. And all I can think of, did you ever blow eggs for Easter? Where you put a pinhole on both ends of the egg, and you take the pin or the needle and you put it inside, sort of like break the yolk, so that when you put the egg to your mouth and blow, it all blows out the other end. So now you have a perfect egg with no middle. And all I could think of, somebody's head in an egg shape and somebody sticking something into their eyeball, it was a bad visual. So at any rate, in the prison part, I expected to find dead, ghosts of people that were put to death. And I didn't. I found people that the bad people killed, wondering why the people were there and not put to death. They were angry that justice wasn't done. Being in jail wasn't enough. Being in prison wasn't enough. They had to have them put to death because they were dead. And there were a couple guards that were hanging out. Yeah, it was pretty interesting, but they're not there 24/7. That's for sure.
Right. And you know what? Good point. Where is it?
Well, I have to see if somebody knows this. Why did they have, and anybody that's been to the prison, and maybe you guys know, why did they have that whole section at the prison devoted to Westinghouse? Refrigerators and stoves.
Maybe they made a donation for renovations, kind of like when you dedicate a wing at a hospital.
Well, I was wondering, does anybody know what the brand was of Old Sparky? Was the electric chair Westinghouse?
Hello, Google.
Yeah, I'm just curious. I mean, Tara and I were talking about it, and I says, "Yeah, I wonder if it was Westinghouse that built the electric chair." Everybody's looking up everything. Oh, I'm so glad I don't do that because I'd make myself crazy.
So the original electric chair, dubbed Old Sparky from the Columbus Penitentiary, is the one that came to the Mansfield Reformatory. Go away, pop-ups. But who made it?
Manufacturer of Old Sparky.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody's going to find that real quick while they're looking. And I just want to agree. Amy, she was saying with this picture, being military family, this fake made me tear. The first time I saw it, it did too. So that's why I'm like, I would frame that. That is gorgeous. Let's see. Did you have fun Saturday?
It was interesting. There were a lot of unique people there. More unique live ones than dead ones, actually.
Let's see. So we'll get a couple questions while I scroll down and see if somebody's found the manufacturer. Are aliens and ghosts have any connectivity to each other?
Not that I know of. And to my knowledge, I have never seen an alien ghost. So I can't say for sure.
Good point too. Prisons are no-fly zones, no phones or anything like that allowed in. It protects the inmates, and I'm sure it's also protect the guards and whatnot, because people aren't like, here's the time and here's the direction and escapee.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. It was like Chris and I got to go on private tour. 25 people, went everywhere. And so that's the thing. Nanette, Radiant Reiki, a lot of you, I'm sure I've seen on our Tuesdays. She's been there a few times, and she's like, she came Sunday, and she was like, they have so much of this prison blocked off right now. She's like, normally you can go everywhere. And she's like, there were still places they didn't allow you to go, like into the sub basements and stuff. But she was coming down to see if I needed to run to the bathroom or something. She's like, I got stuck behind these slow moving people on this little tour. And she's like, well, I remember how to get out and around. And she's like, but they had it all blocked off. So she's like, so I thought I could backtrack and come around the other way. She's like, then there were more slow moving people behind me. She's like, so I was just sandwiched and had to just like,
wait,
little scoots,
Yeah.
around.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, people have a bad, it's great if you see somebody you haven't seen for a while or a friend you can sit and talk. But geez, move it over. You don't have to stand in the middle of the aisle. They're not that wide. So, but people do that in the supermarket too. Why does your cart have to be in the middle of the aisle to look for a can of soup? I will never understand that. So
I get more road rage in a grocery store than I do on the
than
road.
anywhere else. That's right.
I'm not
And
a
then
shopper.
you think about it. Okay, every time I go that way, they're coming this way. I'm going to go over 2 so I can miss them. They had the same idea. They went over 2 too. So
Let's see. Have you ever asked an Earthbound why they went into the portal?
now it's pretty obvious because anybody that I've ever seen come out of a portal was so negative and so bad, and they did such horrible things that, I mean, it's like it's obvious. It's like that was even like saying, well, they were so bad, why wouldn't they go to hell?
Right. Right. Green Mile reference.
You're right. They never should have.
Let's see. Alexander, hello, dynamic ghost duo. Maybe we need a shirt that says that too. If someone with extensive plastic surgery making them decades younger, when they die, what will they look like?
They will look like the day that they died. So the big fat lips and everybody looking like they're Asian. Yeah, they will all have.
I had a mouthful of coffee when you said that. Stop that.
All I see when I see those is I just keep, Ted and I like to fish. It's like, geez, like a largemouth bass. That's all I can think of when I see those lips. It's terrible. But no, now I'm thinking when you go back, if you're an old person and you die and you get younger when you go into the light, you'll probably look like you looked before you had all the face work done.
Right. Oh, so yeah. So Brooke's saying there was multiple old Sparkies, and Renee says employees of Thomas Edison invented the electric chair. Westinghouse refused to be associated with it. So I guess we're still kind of looking to see who built it.
Oh, okay. Well, that's the only one I wanted to know is if it could have been Westinghouse, but glad to know.
Yeah. Vicky says, join Twitch to watch some of your stuff, but need a tutorial on how to comment. You know what, Vicky? I'm sure if you log into Twitch now or even later tonight, we'll help you do some stuff with it. So we'll help get you there. But speaking of, we normally would do a podcast recording today, but Marianne, you've got some stuff right afterwards today. And quite honestly, I'm not sounding the greatest, so it's working out pretty well. So next week we might do 2 or something.
Yeah, we'll do a couple next week. But like you said, we got 3 or 4, Now I'm going to get technical here. No, I'm not, because I forgot. No, I didn't. Are they in the queue?
Yeah. Are they ready to go? Yeah, they're up there and ready to go.
Oh, see, you're not impressed that I knew that word?
Oh. I was half reading comments while listening. Okay. I'm very impressed.
It's like, how would I even know that?
Jim says it's aisle rage instead of road rage. I get it.
Exactly. You're right. I hope you talked to your friend Becky, and she was on Zoom this past week, and I did talk to her. So I hope you can help her.
One of the benefits of the pandemic, many more options to avoid. You're right. And I use and abuse that Walmart Plus like consistently. I'm surprised I haven't taken that whole thing away because of me using it all the time.
I think the stores make a lot of money off of that, to be honest with you. That's something I don't think they're going to give up.
No, and I love it. Especially with my work schedule, I don't have a lot of downtime. And after peopling all day and working retail, the last thing I want to do is walk into yet another store. So I can sit here, put a grocery order in at like 9 o'clock at night and have it delivered at 8 o'clock in the morning and I'm done.
Yeah.
So I love that.
And when you go to the grocery store, you see the people with their tag on, store workers with those bins running around and collecting food for people to pick up or to send out. So I think it's pretty active.
Lisa says, "Hi, Marianne. I live in Mansfield. Westinghouse was a large employer at one time in that area. They used to have boxing matches at the prison that area residents would go see back in the 40s."
Oh, gee, thanks for the info. Never heard that before.
Um, Karen is like, there were lights flickering overhead. The jail cell. Do you think it was caused from the inmates or just the extra stuff going on in there?
It could have been. I mean, I would think that any of the places that they have people in on a regular schedule is probably the electric is probably up to code and everything. I wouldn't know about the rest of the prison though. I mean, they obviously have never cleaned it. So ever cleaned it in any place. They haven't even picked up dirty underwear out of some of those cells.
Mm.
Bad.
Well, the one that was, so we had 2 table spaces. So technically, and then you on the end. So there were like 3 behind us.
3 cells.
And the one directly behind where I was kind of sitting was just like one bed and one little room. And, I was kind of like, if I had my own little room where it's just me that I can like, I'm like, that sounds kind of blissful. But the one right next to it that was between like where you and I were sitting, they had a bunk bed crammed in there. And I'm like, no, that's just way too small for 2 people to have to coincide in there.
I'll tell you the other thing that I want to pay attention to if I ever go back and see the jail ghosts there, the prison ghosts. They couldn't have been that big of men. Those cots weren't even like 5.5 feet. Of course, they're in prison. Why do they have to be comfortable? But there's a thing of being humane too. And I don't know, maybe men just got bigger over the years or something, or taller, but
we are taller, bigger now as a society than.
Okay. Well, I didn't even know that, but I figured looking at that prison, these guys were like 5 feet or 5'5" at the most to fit in there halfway comfortably.
Yeah. Are your Zoom meetings recorded? I was wondering if the past week's Zoom. No, we had the recording notice up there because we were going to use some of it originally in like promo, but it was just going to be like some questions and Marianne answering. And we just decided against it because I don't feel like editing all of that.
So. And it's not only that either, at an event, 40, 50, 150 people, somebody isn't going to stand up and ask something personal. They don't want everybody to know. But on Zoom, there's 20 people, 19 other than yourself, and Melissa and I. And sometimes it's a little easier. Plus, it's only a first name. And
right.
I'm very careful of what I tell somebody, but that doesn't mean that when they say something. So, and I don't think I would never want to record that ever. No, never.
Yeah. Melanie says a law of abundance has been great. It helped my daughter get a new job.
Certainly does work. I tell you, it does work.
Let's see. Yeah. It's funny. While we were there, I was telling Marianne even before we got there, but Saturday, I'm like, I'm not so much worried about any ghost. I'm more worried about the dampness, mold, things of that nature. Because downstairs, it was cold.
We were freezing. We were absolutely freezing.
And then upstairs,
lead paint on the walls.
All the paint that was flaking and
lead, and that's lead paint. It's like, oh.
Yeah, I was more worried about that, honestly. Even if I didn't have your seat on, like I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't touch the walls. Don't.
No, I came home and washed every piece of clothing I had because it had, if nothing else, it had prison dust on it.
I was trying to like find reasons. I'm like, oh, I need to go check on our other table upstairs just to like warm up a little bit. Because I'm like,
please. I just kept going to the bathroom and blowing my hands under that hot blower.
Right. Yeah. And then there were people Sunday who came through, just, people who bought 2-day passes and, they were stopping and talking, and some of them had done that ghost hunt Saturday night. And they were like, it was even worse. And they were like, never again will we do a ghost hunt this time of year where it's this cold. they're like, we had hoodies and gloves and scarves and still, I'm like, I was at home in my bed. Nice.
I'm sure that prison store made a fortune selling those sweatshirts.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Something on.
I mean, I was tempted. I'm like, how big a one do I need to go over my shirt and hoodie I'm already wearing and put another one over? How many Earthbounds reported having gone to other planets with civilizations and described them, or better yet, visited alien bases right here on Earth, allegedly?
Golly, I don't think I have ever asked an Earthbound spirit if they've ever been to another planet. When Ted astroplanes, he can go to another planet. And I know there's a lot of living people that do that. And I guess if it's something you did when you were alive and you like doing it, I suppose if you're earthbound, you could still do it, I guess. I don't really know. And I don't know, why would an earthbound ghost, I've never had an earthbound ghost tell me that they've talked to an alien, so I don't know that question either.
Let's put that on the list.
Yeah, because I don't really know that.
Let's see. I would love to learn about your qualifications and how you learned about gotten to all of the supernatural things. First time here. So Marianne doing this forever, and the TV show The Ghost Whisperer based off of her and was the consultant. They didn't always listen to her because it was about ratings, not accuracy. Marianne's worked with police departments, the FBI, which almost got her. She knew too much.
Oh, in prison.
Done it. But feel free. We
seriously go to your local library and get When Ghosts Speak. That's one of my books. And
like, do I have mine close by?
That will
maybe that way somewhere.
I got it.
You got it.
And this book will answer 85% of your questions.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can't find the answer in here, my website has got all kinds of information. So you could probably find it there too.
We do this live every Wednesday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So feel free to ask questions. It helps the chat move along and I don't have to ramble as much to fill it in.
And I would be curious how you found out about this Wednesday morning. I mean,
I bet because they're on Twitch, we got recommended. Yay.
Oh, okay.
So maybe, hopefully.
Okay.
But and these are all stored on YouTube, so you can go back and watch. And how many years have we been doing? 3, 4?
And before we did this, I have over 100 questions that I answered on my own YouTube for 2 years. And any question that came in, would be answered. So you can find a lot of questions with some answers, so that's good.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I hear that all the time. Yeah. Because part of me, and I'm like, well, how much more can we sell this book in the Cleveland area?
You know what happens, Melissa? They give it away to people.
Yeah.
And then they don't
loan it out, never get it back.
Yeah, exactly right. You know, I guess I didn't know what she was talking about when I was sitting at that big table up at the publisher before they bought the book. And when they finally bought it, they said, okay, we want it to be a book that people keep on their shelf. And if they have a question, they can go to a very specific area of the book and get the answer, because that's the kind of book it is. It's questions answered. And you know what? I guess they're good at their job, because that's what they told me to write, how I should write it. And that's the way it worked out. So it worked out okay.
Chakra Newbie says, Facebook watcher here. So glad to tune in. I don't know what to ask, but I'm very interested in the conversation. Well, thank you for joining.
Yes.
Feel free to pop in with a question when you have one. City says she used to love those letters that you would answer.
It's still all there too.
Right. And there's got to be some, WTF letters laying around, Marianne. We might have to sit down and go through some and
Maybe you know what, maybe I'll do? I'll go back. Maybe because I did those letters at least once for sure on my own YouTube when I was doing it before I stopped.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we can go into more detail on those and do a bunch of those. Because the ones I've been getting now, they're really gross. I wouldn't even, no. So no.
Right. Why do earthbound spirits become earthbound to begin with?
Their choice. The minute you die, you have a choice: stay or go into the white light. And all kinds of reasons why people stay. But if it's your choice, you lose the light and now you are stuck. Thank you, Christine. I appreciate that. So,
Chris, send me an email so I can send you the invite for tonight, please. Yeah, what were we doing, Marian? Where somebody asked if somebody could be earthbound not by their own choice, and you were like, no, they always have the choice.
They have choice, always.
Maybe that
I can't catch them. Nobody can catch them. You know, you can't run around with a butterfly net and try to catch these ghosts. It doesn't work. And so again, free choice. I've learned over the years to trick them sometimes, lie to them sometimes, because I think it's more important for them to get into the light than to stay earthbound. If nothing else, is because they disturb the ones that are the living, the ones that aren't earthbound. So, but no, it is definitely their choice.
Let's see. Says, I found a couple days ago that my biological father passed away late in April. His family didn't know I existed until they went through his paperwork and saw a letter I wrote as a teenager. The date they gave me of his passing, I wrote in my journal. Now, for some reason, I am sad and melancholy.
You know, it's a loss whether you had a relationship with your, bio father or not. And it's interesting. We did a podcast similar to that, didn't we, Melissa? Or is that one not aired yet? DNA testing.
Not aired yet.
Okay, keep an eye on the podcast. I don't know when that one's going to be on.
3 weeks.
In 3 weeks. And that is sort of similar to what you're talking about. So you might want to listen to that podcast.
That's a little bit rowdy on that one. And that one's going to have a moral dilemma in a way. There's no clear which side do you feel better for.
Right. Which is sort of the place she's at now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. So once they ignore the light and become earthbound, firestones, like once they make the choice, can they not change it? But they can.
If anybody loses their light because you decided to stick around and give somebody grief, remember karma. I wouldn't recommend it. But if you have lost your light, all you have to do is go to a funeral home that has a service going on. That person's funeral, the person that's in the casket, that person is standing at the foot of the casket with the white light around them. That is not an individual white light. That's a universal white light. So any of you are stuck and you want to cross over, just go to a funeral home when there's a service going on and be bopping into that light and you'll be right where you need to be.
I mean, it's a good question, a good thought. Marian says, I wonder why a choice to go into light is even offered in the first place. Instead, they should have moved automatically.
Yeah, but you make choices to be good or bad. You don't automatically be bad. And so, I mean, maybe somebody absolutely positively just doesn't want to go. And why should somebody be forced to do something they don't want to do? Usually, if you're forced to do something you don't want to do, you don't like it. So, I I think that it's better this way where they have to make a choice.
Vicky says, you met my daughter and son-in-law, PTSD from military service, when I visited Melissa's store once, and he keeps getting into car accidents, none of his fault. Would wearing a seat help?
It wouldn't hurt. That's for sure. And does the car, I'd be curious to know if it's the same car that keeps getting in the same accident, because if it is the same car, get this book, the last chapter, I bet that car's got a curse on it. Use this book to get the negative energy off of it. The last chapter tells you how to take off negative energy off a person, place, or thing. So definitely, the seat is terrific, and definitely he should wear it. But like I said, if it's the same car, or you may want to do the little ceremony on him. Does he have negative energy on him that's why the accidents keep happening?
Do you believe crystals and stones can help ward off negative energy?
Melissa, you take that one.
They can and do, though I have yet to find any stone that's going to keep a ghost away. And how I explain that to people is ghosts can go anywhere on the planet that they want. And that ground that they're walking on or hovering over has the crystals in it. And if, we suddenly just looked and realized that ghosts don't go into this quarter-mile area, well, what's there? There's, so that doesn't happen. But it works more in the negative energy, as in certain people don't vibe with all crystals the same way. We're all chemically different. We're all, so we're going to react differently to different types of stones. I have noticed that people who are deemed, the psychic vampires, the people that always need that constant attention and the draining of the energy, they're the ones that always have to hug everybody, touch everybody, be the center of attention all the time. Most people like black tourmaline to keep negative energy away, right? A lot of people who are psychic vampires do not like the feel of that stone. It just feels off to them. They don't like it. They feel sick. They feel, and I used to kind of like poo-poo that until, noticing somebody that I see on a regular basis who doesn't like that stone, and I'm like, imagine that. Here we go. Low grade, like science experiment on my own, happening here. But it tends to be more of not necessarily just energy, and it's the people that put it off, right? Is a better way of explaining it. So, yeah, so they can help, but it's more in what feels good to you and like what happens with the other people when they run into it. So,
see, and here's an interesting thing. When I clear somebody's house, I'm sitting at their kitchen table or dining room table and we're talking, and if I look around and I see she's got a geode sitting over on a counter, or a big crystal amethyst sitting on a table in the living room, I always tell people, once I clear a house and the quince seeds go up, cleanse your stones in the house. Stones will take energy from whoever is there. They can give you some protection and energy, but they can also absorb it. So once I clear a house, you don't want the personality of that ghost to still be lingering around on your crystals. So I would seriously clean and cleanse every one of your crystals that you have in the house if you had ghosts in the house for any length of time, because they're going to have some of their energy on it.
Oh, I'm glad, Frog Lady. The stones I got from your store are helping my grandson some. Good. Let's see.
Crystals are good for kids because they really think that they are solving the whole world if they've got that big rock sitting on their bedside stand. I guess they think the ghost can't get close to them, or they can take the rock and throw it at them. So, it works.
I mean, any stone's good for deflecting negativity if you have a good aim hard enough. Aim for the eyes. Um, let's see. Can ghosts come to you in your dreams?
Ones that have crossed over, absolutely. That is how most of your relatives and friends communicate with you once they have crossed over. They do it in dreams. Dreams are acceptable. You get up in the morning, you get up in the middle of the night and see your grandmother sitting on the foot of your bed, you're going to freak out, even though you loved your grandma dearly. So they come in dreams. Earthbound spirits can absolutely not get in dreams. No how, no way. That is actually one of the little hooks I use to get some people to cross over, because now that you're going to be from the light, you can go visit your family. You can visit your grandchildren or your kids, which if they do it when they're earthbound, they cause problems. However, if you do have an earthbound ghost and it's in your bedroom when you're sleeping, your dreams are going to be vivid and technicolor and loud, and your dreams will wake you up. No doubt about it.
You may even have fitful sleeping. We had gotten, I say we, like back when I was still married, this really nice leather ottoman, but we're going to call it a Leatherman, not the knife. That it would, the tops would open, the cushions. It was nice. Like, it was big. It stored comforters and stuff. And within the first night or two of getting that, like, I would have the weirdest dreams about, like, kind of being this old man driving like this old, like, hoop-de-doo car with like the fin tail lights. And I'm like, what is this? And then it dawned, and I'm like, oh shit, like, okay, let's clean this up and move it along, and, better sleep after that. No more weird, dreams with it. And, but it wasn't like talking to me, or it was just kind of like that perception of, like, what, I guess maybe not necessarily memories, but something that was important.
Right.
This ghost. But I was like, we are not taking any more furniture in from friends that are downsizing. You keep your shit. I don't want it. Gina says, ever since I found out that spirits from the other side and earthbounds can watch us anytime, it has bothered me, and I find it very creepy. Is there any solid way to keep them from coming around?
The only way to do it for sure, Gina, is to wear a quince seed charm on you. They can be in the same room, but they can't get close to you. They can't get any closer than 3.5, 4 feet.
Well,
and that's even
the other side aren't going to watch you in the shower.
Exactly. They would have. I mean, your dead father's going to watch you in the shower? I don't think so. But, the kid that came in to watch your 17-year-old daughter, yeah, that would probably be an absolute positive. So that the quince seed is the only thing that I know that works 100%.
And then there was the question about how to cleanse crystals, Melanie asked.
Okay, there's a couple ways. I'll tell you the way I like it the best is to put sea salt on a cookie sheet and put your crystals on that. And if you can do it before a full moon peaks, in other words, you take those crystals, that pie sheet or the cookie sheet, take it outside and put it on the ground. So critters don't walk off with your birds, walk off with your crystals. Put like a dish towel or, something on the top of it, and let them sit out there for, a night. And that should do it. If you get new crystals and the ones in your house were just cleaned, all you have to do, if it's a stone, because not all stones can go in water or be wet. But usually there was an old metaphysical shop many, many years ago that every time anybody bought any kind of stone from her shop, she always had a little baggie, a little plastic baggie, and she always had a little cup with salt in it. And she would automatically put that stone in that little baggie and seal it up with the salt. So when you took it home, it was good to go. She did not sell any amount of stones like you sell. My God, you'd have to have
Yeah, I was like, we can't do that. We
back
have
in a salt factory somewhere. But seriously, it absolutely does work.
Firestone said, because you just asked about the dreams. I had a dream about my dad coming to visit me. He looked great, and it was a great dream. But when he left me, I saw him going into a light, and I was screaming out loud in my sleep, "Dad, don't go!" His wife.
That was you not wanting your dad to go, which who wants their parents to die? So yeah, that
come back,
yeah,
and he crossed over, so he can come back. And
yeah, he'll be back in a dream for sure. And remember, you can talk to them in a dream. The trick to talking to them in a dream is when you dream of them and you see them and you just lay there and watch them. Then you get up in the morning, you go, why didn't he talk to me? The trick is you have to say hi first. Anybody you know that you see in a dream, you're a relative, a parent, a friend. Hi dad, hi mom, hi grandma. Or if you see an older woman and you ask her, who are you? Gee, maybe it's your great 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 grandmother wants to see what you look like. If you ask, you'll find out.
Let's see. Frog Lady, she's like, I seen the blurriness at the end of my best friend's dad's funeral. I was caught talking to him. Thank God there was a picture of him nearby.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. They can't read your mind. If you go walk down to the foot of the casket and make sure, sort of look around you to make sure nobody can hear you. But you got to talk out loud. They cannot read your mind. Just tell them, we love you. Go to the light. I'll see you in a dream. But again, you don't want anybody to hear you say that because they'll put you in a cookie factory. So,
let's see. Yeah, you know what? So not all libraries maybe have your book anymore, but I'll be sure to at least read the beginning of your book. Sadly, my online library doesn't have the book though. I'll have to fill out my favorite title card at the library to get it. Some libraries are pretty good at getting them.
Some of the libraries have been saying the book has been out since 2007. So a lot of the libraries say, oh, it's out of print. It is not out of print. They're just too lazy to order it. Tell them you want it ordered. They have to do it. If you've got a library card, you're entitled to have them order books for you and have them order a book for you. And because none of my books, not any of them are out of print. There's 7 of them and none of them are out of print.
Right. I explore all sorts of strange corners of the internet. I've recently become convicted to looking at the origins of supernatural beliefs, as I learned over time that quite a few have hateful or otherwise problematic origins. And you just had a grandma behind you. Yeah, making that light because your grandma did it. And so it's a family lineage.
Right.
One of your daughters can do it.
Right.
And it's funny because you have said a few times the one who can do it wishes she couldn't, and the one who can't wants badly to be able to.
Right. And it's what your gifts are given to you, what your abilities are. Not obviously. I wish I could play the piano. I can't even whistle in tune. So, but there's some people that say, oh, I wish I could do what you do. Be careful what you wish for.
Did you guys get that motorcycle picture up on your website yet?
We did not. Ted's putting it up today.
Okay. So, and we will put that up again now while we go for some other questions. So new friends coming in. The episode that released today of the podcast, When Ghosts Speak, today's episode titled Ghostly Writer, was based off this picture. And this was a client that you had to go take care of some business for because of this motorcycle.
Well, that ghost was giving them a lot of grief. A lot of grief.
I think there was a comment about how they're surprised that they stayed together because of all the grief that motorcycle owner was causing. Yeah. So it just goes to show how strong of a connection they had that the ghost was able to.
Some people, no matter what, are just meant to be. No matter what, however many problems you go to, that is your life partner, and that's going to be that. And and then it got to the point where he was going off on his own. leaving her at home and just going for bike rides with other bikers and that kind of thing. So it was really affecting them. It would have been so much better if she had listened to her mother months before she actually called. Isn't that funny? Even after you're married, you still don't want to listen to mom.
You know what? Well, there's also, and maybe it's more of a guy thing, who mom's too involved sometimes.
Oh yeah, with sons. Yeah, but you gotta, but fathers and their princesses. Come on. That's the same thing.
Right.
I mean, no guy was ever going to be good enough for one of our daughters. And if I had had sons, no way would there have been a girl good enough for a son.
Right.
Absolutely. Don't tell me you're not going to run whoever Rune starts dating up the flagpole and back down to see if she's good enough for him.
Well, for a little, I was excited when he had his first little girlfriend. I'm like, yay, he just because he has like social anxiety. So like this was a big step. And I really didn't have a problem in the beginning. But I really truly believe we're going to see this little girl, and I shouldn't say because she's going to be in her 20s now, right? In an episode of Snapped, just like the guilt and like if he didn't stay up, like if he didn't sneak his phone into bed at night and stay up all night talking to her, she was going to cut herself like that.
Oh no, that's not good.
Little girl, I will come for you.
Right.
So yeah, we had, so now he's like, girls are drama, I'm not dating. And I'm like, you do you, like, worry about job and taking care of bills and stuff right now. Like I'm not going to be that mom that's like, where's my grandkids? Like, I don't do you go be successful in life, be able to adult, take care of yourself when I'm got like,
right.
So the motorcycle picture should be up on Marianne's site.
It'll be up today.
And if you haven't listened already, please go take a listen. Available pretty much anywhere you can find podcasts. But I think most people, according to the analytics, when I use it, it's usually like Amazon and Apple. So it's available there. Andrea asks, can we folks be the cause of my children losing their toys and then finding them a month or so later? They've lost things and I've always looked everywhere and suddenly the item will show up later.
Yeah, but if you have a ghost child in the house, they could do that too. We folk can do it also, but the ghost children love to tease live kids. So absolutely.
Why do quince seeds sometimes pop, and are they still effective?
When they pop, somebody was trying to get negative energy on you, or a ghost was trying to get close to you. They still work 100%. When people tell me that they were watching TV and all of a sudden somebody started bashing on their front door, well, the seed is over the door. Mm-hmm. I'll give you $1 to a donut. You go take that seed off the door and it's going to be popped or cracked or smashed. Put it right back up. But that's what happens. That's how you know the seed is actually working. That's how I can tell when somebody says, are you sure there's nothing in my house? When they call me, check your seeds. Are they where they're supposed to be? Are any popped or cracked? Then at least you know somebody was trying to get in. Okay. I got another, and I got to write it down. Another podcast. There'll be another picture with this one too.
Oh, we just spurred one somehow.
What happened?
We just spurred an episode somehow with some questions.
Oh, okay. Yeah. This one will, yeah.
So these two questions are going to tie in together, and it kind of harkens back to Firestone's question about the whole dreams. Renee asked, those who crossed over, can they read thoughts? Do I have to speak out loud to those that have crossed over?
I don't think they can, but when you know somebody well enough, you could do it with your kids. You could be out someplace and your kid's acting up and you give them that look. They know exactly what you're telling them. Okay. And so is that in dreams, is that you knowing the person so well, you know what they're going to say or do? Or is it that you are getting thoughts from them? I think they talk out loud. I think that's how you hear them. I think that's why you have to talk out loud. I think it's easier for them just to talk to you instead of trying to jump into your brain.
And then City says, that's true. Once I started talking to my grandma, she would speak something. Otherwise, she'd just stand there and watch and not say anything.
Exactly right. They don't want to scare you. And I guess they figure if you say hi first, everything is let's go.
Mary's like, valid. Fathers and their princesses. I have one of those. Let's see. Brooke says, mom card's always valid. What is your opinion on orbs? Paranormal or not?
You want orbs in your pictures, 100%. I don't know what these Ghostbusters think when they say your house is terribly haunted if you have orbs. They are so wrong. Look at the picture of the orb. If there's a design in the middle, if that picture was taken on some kind of a digital camera, which most of them are nowadays, enlarge that orb and you will see a profile or a face of who it is. Those people are from the light. They're good. You want them in pictures. If your orb is blank, it's a dust particle. It is nothing. They can be any color. They can be any size orb. They can be sparkly. But if they're perfectly round orbs, don't worry about it. Years ago, when people used to hire photographers to do weddings, before they would show you your proofs, they would have to take out hundreds of orbs. That was their biggest problem when they took pictures, because there is not one dead relative that is not going to miss your wedding. And they're going to show up in orbs. So orbs are good. New babies. You have well, we didn't even have those in my day, but first they were just hearing. Now they're a camera. All of a sudden you see all these orbs floating around the baby's room. Relatives coming to see the new baby. Good. You want orbs in pictures.
Let's see. Oh, so okay. Firestone says maybe he sees a face between the wheels down in the bottom. And part of me, and
I know where he's talking about. He's talking about, I'm pointing.
I know, like we were both, and I'm like,
yeah, I was just like, oh my gosh. Where that yeah, you can almost see like an eye and a nose. I don't. There was nobody there that said they were on there. I guess I really truly never noticed that. So it could have been, but I did not see that. All I saw was the man, because he was right there pointing his face out to me. So he was going, yeah, there I am, when they showed me the picture.
Yeah, so the dark-haired man on the bike is the live person, the client.
Correct. The one in front of him, the blonde one in front of him, is the ghost. Mm-hmm. And that's interesting down there in the bottom. I don't really know what that is. Good pickup.
Yeah, because I'm looking at the blown up picture, and I thought, I'm like, well, is that the glare from the light where I use?
Well, it's right. I mean, you see the wheel, then you see that bar that I can't read the writing on, and then you see that white flash, and he's right next to the white flash.
Yeah.
I don't know. That looks pretty good like a ghost, though. You're right.
Looking at the blown up here. This is a big old blow up picture. But yeah, it's there. So it's not, glare from.
No. That's not glare at all. Interesting.
So we'll have that in the store. Anybody local that you want to see the actual picture, we'll have that in the store for you. I'm hoping to hear about your thoughts on the origins of the supernatural beliefs you hold, as not your personal story of how you got into it, but the origins. I think your origins are because you experienced it. Like,
right. I mean, I can learn something new every day. And seeing I'm in my mid-70s and grandma started taking me to funerals when I was 4, I'm sure there's stuff in my brain that I'd run across and have totally forgot. So I don't know how to answer that question. I really don't.
Mm-hmm. Hello, new friends coming in. Let's see. A lot of people saying that they've seen faces and orbs. Let's see.
We better hit the new Zoom. Let them know when the next Zoom is, too.
Hello, Raiders. Thanks for stopping in. Raiders on Twitch, new friends coming in. Feel free to ask questions about the TV show The Ghost Whisperer, because Marianne, it was based off of you. You were the consultant. We do this chat every Wednesday at 10 a.m. And you can ask questions about paranormal, ghost, all things under that umbrella. While I am, thank you, Small Cats, for rating. Looking for other questions here. Let's see. But yes, so we do twice a month the Zoom. So if you feel like maybe you have something going on in your house that you can't quite explain, maybe you want to know if it's a ghost or not, that's what the Zoom is for. I'm going to put that link up right here, and this link will work forever as long as we're doing these. So that link does not change. We do 2 a month, one on a Friday night, one on a Monday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You need to be in the location that your question is about. No one under the age of 18. Please make sure you adjust accordingly for a time change if you are not in the Eastern Standard Time zone with us. And please, if you're joining us, we love friends from everywhere, but please double check your skill of typing when you put your email in. The minute you fill that in and hit go, our system's going to generate a confirmation email to you with your Zoom link. So do not delete that email. But if you mistype your email, I get a bounce back. I don't know what your email is supposed to be. I can't fix it for you. So double check your email before you hit submit. But the next one coming up is June 9th. That is a Friday night. Best legal Friday night fun you're going to have. New people usually always go first. Every now and then, if we have somebody who's a quick repeat that, was on before, they order their seeds and we need to just let them know the house is clear, put your seeds up and go. We'll get them out of the way pretty quick. And we ask that you be mindful that other people have paid to be there. And they are waiting patiently to ask their questions. So your questions need to be about what's going on right now, not when you were 10, not when you were a teenager, not what has happened at your mom's house, your girlfriend's house, because you can't answer that. You're not there. And people are patiently waiting for their time with Marianne. But that link will get you the ability to sign up. The next one again is June 9th. It's a Friday night. So can you do the Zoom in a different location? Sure. But that's where you're going to get your questions answered from. So don't be at work on your lunch break if your question's about your house.
I mean, if your ghost is really friendly with you and it goes everywhere you go, then maybe it would be around you if you were not calling from where you live. Or if you're calling from work, it could be work ghosts and they're not in your house. But just, again, keep that in mind. If it's your house that you're worried about, that's where the call has to come from.
That's right. Oh, will one of your quincees stop bad intentions by a living person?
Unfortunately, no. It will stop anybody trying to put negative energy on you, however. It will stop a curse. So, well, I guess bad intentions would be bad energy. So, yeah, having a seed on you would absolutely stop that. Just make sure you can, if you have negative energy on you, you can still wear a quince seed, which means that the negative energy that's on you will not get any worse, because negative energy attracts negative energy. So the longer you have it on you, the worse it gets. But again, if you get one Ghost Pic, you can use the little ceremony in here to get the curse off. You can't do it to yourself. Have a friend do it for you. And for sure, if you wear a quince seed after that, you will never have a curse on you, ever.
So get ready for the eye roll. What do you think about the YouTubers doing ghost hunting, Marianne? Brooke, did you clip it?
No comment.
Let's see. But yeah, did we forget any? You do. It's $20 to be a part of the Zoom. But this is to help you find out if you have something in your house to get taken care of. If you are local, Marianne can come out and take care of the whole problem. If you're not, some suggestions on what to do.
You can absolutely leave a message. I will call you back. There is no fee for that. The issue with that, though, is that I've got over 438 people to call back. So it's not going to be tomorrow. It's probably going to be at least 5 to 6 weeks before I get back to you.
She clipped it. Yes. Mary Kathleen says, my husband calls me Snow White because animals always surround me, birds, dogs, cats, etc. Can people be animal whisperers?
Sure. We all know Dr. Doolittle. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. There are animals. I mean, if you're an animal person, you go get a new puppy or a new kitten, they pick you. Mm-hmm. And they'll be your friend as long as you're there and you love them and you treat them right. And it gets to a point, you know what they're thinking, and they certainly know what you're thinking. There isn't a day that the one cat doesn't look in here to see if I'm busy. And as soon as I'm busy, they'll go right to exactly where they're not supposed to go. Not to the bathroom, just in a room they're not supposed to go in. I'll see him peek at me to see where I'm at. If I'm on the phone, he knows I'm not going to yell at him. So that's when he'll be bad.
Judith says, I ordered a dream bag a few weeks ago. Haven't heard anything and hasn't gotten it yet. So have Ted maybe look for that order.
Yeah. As far as I know, there are no outstanding orders at all. I will have him look it up.
Let's see. Okay, I think we've got one last question here from YouTube. Almost missed it from Mila. I have fresh roses yesterday. A healthy-ish rose head fell off. Could that be a message?
I guess if I talk to you in person, I would ask who the roses came from. And would that make somebody jealous that somebody sent you roses and so that they damaged the one? It would have to have some significance to either an earthbound ghost or we folk. One or the other.
Hello, Veronica. My son can go anywhere and animals go right to him. In Colorado, a chipmunk came up and took a bite of his apple.
Aw.
Adorable. But I think we kind of got through all of the questions here for today. So yeah, join us on Zoom if you think you might have some stuff going on. And if you want it confirmed, but Marianne can tell you if you have ghosts, if there's a portal, if there's negative energy, everybody gets asked 2 questions. So decide which ones are your most important, though sometimes, Marianne will ask questions back just to get a better sense of what's going on. How many people?
I usually ask questions back. I'm curious. There's certain lines of work that bring ghosts home with them. So I ask you a lot of times, not what type of work do you do? How many people live in the house? Are your kids sick all the time? So yeah, I'm not a psychic. I need to ask questions, but you will usually get your 2 questions answered with more information than you thought you were going to get.
And that's a good point to bring up. And I need to, I guess, maybe add that to my list of Zoom notifications. Marianne is not a psychic medium. So please don't get on Zoom wanting to ask questions about a loved one that has crossed over. She does not have access to those type of spirits. It's just the earthbounds and what they might be doing in the house. So unfortunately, cannot help you talk to those that have crossed over. Just the shenanigans going in your house and how to stop that.
Yeah, I'm in this little box. I don't go much further.
Right. Kind of like me, I kept thinking I was the one hitting the gas knobs on the stove and having gas. And no, it was an old lady that was trying to gas the apartment. I'm like, I know I did not go near that stove. Why is that knob on? I must have walked past closer than I remember. Right.
Of course, you try to reason it out every time.
I am
Every
a
time.
skeptical believer. I will
Right.
try to reason it out much faster before I'll believe that there's a ghost hanging around.
No, sometimes it's a ghost and people will call out an exterminator and it has nothing to do with squirrels. Sometimes people are positive it's ghosts, but it is squirrels in the attic. So you never know.
Right. Like I am of the mindset like that Airbnb in how many years? 2 years ago now. When I was in Florida, and I'm like, nah, this Airbnb host, like they're a creeper, like felt being watched. And I my mind goes to true crime, like there's cameras hidden, right? So I'm low key looking for cameras, trying not to freak out Sandy, who was with me. And no, there was just a ghost in the house. So I will go to real life things before I jump to the whole ghosts.
And that's, like I said, and that's usually what men do. Men are more logical and they're going to try to figure out what it is to calm the little wife and make sure it's just a branch hitting the roof, nothing else. Yeah, right.
Yeah. And yes, so all of our Twitch friends come over tonight. We're doing more woo woo tonight. Not Marianne. Maybe one of these days we'll rope Marianne into an evening time, but we'll be back this evening. More fun metaphysical discussion, card readings, things of that nature. But Woo Woo Wednesday continues this evening at 7. But yeah, I think we've gotten all of our questions. We've talked about our Zoom coming up. Oh, hey, wait a minute. July 8th, in-person ghost walk over in Kipton. So there's actually 2 this summer. One in Kipton, the train derailment that killed passengers. It was a mail car and a passenger car that collided. And because of this accident in a town that big, it's like 5 streets. It's the reason why, and I say this and I'm not wearing the right kind of watch, but it's the reason why we all have a second hand on our watch now. So we will have access to some of the old buildings that were part of the train yard. We'll get to go into some of the town buildings and kind of get the history and do some ghost walks. And then in August, we will be at the Midwest Railroad Preservation Society, and we will have access to the death car number 62 that a bunch of people died in that one from steam.
27 people, I think, died on that. Yeah.
And the roundhouse and a storage house. And we will be very close to where the Cleveland Torso murders were happening. So if you're in town or want to make a trek out for one or both, please come join us. But those are coming up later this summer.
Should be fun.
Yeah. But
everybody have a good Memorial weekend, and please be careful, be safe. We want to see you again next Wednesday.
Yes. And teachers, hang in there. Summer's coming.
Yeah, keep your doors locked. Don't let the kids in. Right.
I don't hear you.
That's right. You're not there. Okay.
Right. But thank you, everybody, and we'll see everybody this evening.
Okay. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.